Welcome back to the Authentic Human Podcast, where we explore creation, existence, consciousness, and evolution through conversations with universal beings. So, this is part 156 of the story of creation, series we started in January of 2025, and we're still going with today. So, we are we've gone through a massive journey and it's been incredible. It's eye-opening in the sense of understanding who we are and little nuances of existence, but also understanding the big aspects of existence and how existence was created and how humanity was created. They've explained how humanity became manipulated, and they've also been telling us how to overcome that manipulation, right? Overcome the conditioning. And now we're into this new phase of creating the new world. And that started in part 140. And the first thing that they introduced was that humanity was going to, once again, we're going to remember how to fly. And that was really exciting. And it still is really exciting. But it's understanding that in order for us to be able to fly, we have to come to that place, that realization, that awareness that recognizes our existence in relation to flying. And why did they pick flying first? Why did they pick human flight out of everything they could have picked? Because it's unique enough, it's daring enough, and it is powerful enough to get your attention, to allow you to remember that your natural state of being is completely different than the life you're living. So just imagine for a moment, if you can close your eyes. If you're driving, please don't. And if you're doing, if you're working somewhere where you shouldn't close your eyes, please don't. It's okay. But if you can, close your eyes and let yourself feel what it's going to feel like to fly. If you have dreams of flying, if you have awarenesses, maybe you have experiences with levitation and raising your body off of the surface of the earth. Notice what that feels like. And they want you to imagine soaring with the birds in the sky, connecting with the clouds. And imagine flying during a beautiful rain shower, flying through the sky with dark clouds and sunshine and a rainbow. And look down at your body as you're flying. What are you wearing? What makes you feel like you can fly? What are you wearing is the representation of how that feels to you. And that's what today is about. For part 156 of the story of creation, they want to take you inside of what it means and how it feels to become one with the universe. You see, original humans for millions, billions, trillions of years lived in connection with existence. So that's not just in consciousness, it's in connection with existence, okay? So it's more than just being conscious of your actions and how they impact everything in the world, everyone in existence. It's also being aware of how everyone else's participation impacts you and everyone else. But it's also understanding you don't need to walk around carrying that information because consciousness holds it. Why? Consciousness holds the information. The creator created the concept of consciousness so you could walk freely without any burdens. Free to play, free to roam, free to have every experience you choose without needing to constantly think. We don't think as universal beings because thinking is not powerful. Energy is powerful. Energy is where you find truth. It's where you find the information that you need. It's where you find the guidance that you're looking for, the insights, the wisdom. It's all in energy, and it's all instantly accessible. And ultimately, that's what we're learning to do. So today they want to reconnect you with that foundational aspect of existence, the truth of who you are and where you exist from. Because for tens of thousands of years, humanity has been conditioned to believe that who we are and how we exist is what we think. You've been taught to value yourself based on what your mind knows, what your mind can understand, what your mind can conceive of. But the challenge and the problem with that belief system is you've decided if you don't understand it, you can't experience it. If you don't understand it, you're not good enough. If you don't understand it, you can't participate in it. You see, and that's what they were hoping. That's what they planned for. Because if they can create systems that you don't think you understand or you don't think you're good enough, they can control you. So let's create a financial system that you will have to apply to be good enough for, apply to receive. So if you think you're not good enough, you can't participate. Let's create a medical system that tells you about your health, about your well-being, about how your body is meant to be experienced. And if you don't understand what we're talking about, that's because you're not good enough. Your body is not it's not good enough to be able to be healthy. It's not good enough for you to be able to get the care that you need, the attention that you need. You see, all of these things, they're illusions. Let's create a system where the more you learn, if the more information you put in your mind, in your head, the more valued you are as a human in society. The more pieces of paper that you have on your wall, certificates that justify how much you've learned. Let's create that system. And that means that those who don't belong to the group, they're not valuable. We're more valuable than them. Because if you can teach people that they're not valuable, then all they're going to want to do is keep trying to get into the crew, into the group, into the crowd. They want to join the crowd that has more value to it. The creator's here. There's millions of universal beings here. And there is everybody. I mean, everyone from Jesus, from the Angelics, from Mother Earth, Pan. There are fairies, nature spirits. There's light beings. There's star beings. There are beings from every galaxy inside this universe, and they are all here. And their message is very simple, and it's all the same. You're valuable because you exist, not because you're part of the crowd. You know where that feeling of wanting to be part of something comes from? It comes from your deep inner knowing that you are part of the universe itself. And why you feel like you're not enough is because you're looking to reconnect with your inner knowing and your value and your recognition. You're trying to find it in the physical world. You're trying to find it in your human relationships, at your work and with your family and your romantic partner, your friends, your community, instead of recognizing that that energy, that feeling, it's inside of you. It's inside that consciousness that you have access to. It's interesting the way they're showing me. And I don't know about you, but the last few months, I have this sensation of, it's like I'm in water all the time. And I haven't been on a boat in years, but it's kind of like, when you're on a boat and then you get off the boat and you feel like you're still going on the waves. I feel like I'm in that all the time. And what they're saying is there's this sensation of existence. And it's like, sometimes it's like floating on a cloud. Sometimes it's like moving in water, but it's a constant motion. There's been a lot more, what is that? When you can't sort of have the balance. It's a different, anyways, there's a word for it. But there's a lot more people with experiences of that, right? And motion sickness and just overall feeling like something is coming at you or you're moving through. And ultimately what's happening and what's happened is your connection with consciousness is being restored. Okay. And we have to remember that energy, right? You're an energetic being. That's the foundation of your existence. And the universe is energy. And every aspect of existence is energy. And so energy is in a constant state of movement. It is not static. Constant state of movement. And so what's happening is we're being restored to that constant state of movement. And it feels a little discombobulating often because you feel like, okay, what's going on, right? Even though you're sitting still. And it's coming back to that place where you're not actually still. It's very, very rare for a human body to be still. It's actually beautiful. And what they're saying is, for the past 500 years in particular, there's been a very big and significant movement towards stillness. Significant. 500 years, not just the last couple years, 500 years towards stillness, because we were in that state of believing and understanding that it was in the stillness that we would recognize and remember our connection to self. And now it's coming around. And it's coming back to that place of a deeper truth, a higher awareness that recognizes that your energy and your frequency, it's not still. And the universe is not still. It's in motion. But what you need to do is allow your mind to shut off. Okay? And a lot of people really struggle with being able to turn their mind off, right? Your mind, you're constantly thinking, you've always got something on the brain, right? And what they're showing is stopping thinking is easier than you think. It's about understanding that you just put your attention on energy. You see, we have this, it's so cool because it's showing me like this. It's like, this is ADHD and, all of those labels where, people can't sit still. People who can't sit still, it's not because you can't focus. It's because you have so much energy running through you and you're not sure how to process it. Okay? And for those of us who are also on the other side, where you're exhausted and you don't want to do anything and your body is just like, ah, that comes from, it's like over processing. Okay. You're over processing, you're overthinking everything. And so what they're saying is they want you to meet in the middle. And energetically, it's quite beautiful. And if you can feel the energy of all this, it's just going to make so much more sense. But right now, we're coming to that finite point of existence where all the little nuances that didn't make sense for years, right? Like, why do I have this label? I have it, and now I'm trying to, live my life with this label, and it's still, nothing fits. It doesn't quite work, but it's given me a reason to say it's okay that I'm different. We're not different. And yet we're all unique. But the uniqueness comes from our ability to connect with energy. That's what makes us unique from this civilized world that we've all been taught society is. Because society is not a reflection of who human beings are. So we've been taught through the education system, right, that ancient humans were archaic and cavemen without longevity, without knowledge, without awareness, very basic. And in that basicness, they needed to be taught, they needed to learn, they needed to evolve into society. So into a structure that made them feel comfortable, that made them feel stronger, that made them feel more valuable. And ultimately, we're at this place in existence where we're starting to realize that doesn't make a lot of sense because it doesn't fit with what we're feeling inside. Because as much as we try to fit into society, there's things that just don't make sense. They don't add up. How, if you know that everyone is meant to feel joy, that everyone is meant to have the freedom to explore who they are, but yet you look around and you don't see that. Doesn't matter where you are, but you look at everybody else. Then why doesn't everybody have an abundance of money and an abundance of opportunities? These things don't fit. You see, but you have that inner knowing that says people shouldn't be judged. People shouldn't be suffering. You already know these things. You see, and that's why the whole concept of society, we're starting to see through the lies. That the actual structure itself, it's not only that it doesn't fit, that's where the most discomfort comes from the things that we think we need to keep us safe. Those feelings of being protected and knowing who you are and where you fit are the exact, in society, right, are the exact reasons that you can't experience the fullness of who you are and experience the abundance that you're meant to experience in this world. And what they want to share and what they want you to feel is it's time to come back to that place where your recognition of self outweighs what you're being taught and told to do. And that's a challenging place to be because it often means that the things you know you have to do are going to be in complete opposition of how you've been doing them your whole life. Right? This is where maybe you have a successful business and you know you need to walk away from it. And your brain is like, but how does that make sense? What am I walking into? Maybe it's walking away from a valuable friendship that brought you so far in your life, but you are now at the place where you recognize it. you can't grow inside that friendship to where you need to grow next. Doesn't mean that the other person's not valuable. You're not leaving them. You're leaving the dynamic in you, the person that you are in that relationship. You're leaving that behind. You see, humans were meant to evolve. We were created to evolve. That's how they trapped us inside of this concept of society, right? Because they literally created the illusion of cavemen mentality to high technology, right? So that's the arc of evolution that they've used, that we are so much more now. But humans were never archaic. We were never limited in our awareness, ever. That's why it feels so awkward for you to need to prove yourself. That's why you get so frustrated and you get so annoyed and you feel angry and frustrated when someone says, "Prove yourself to me. Tell me why we can give you this or we should give you this." It doesn't feel good because it's not aligned with existence. It's not that you aren't good enough, but that's what they've taught you to believe, that feeling is, "Oh my gosh, I'm not good enough. Please, can I have it? Please, can I have it? Please, please, will they say yes? Hopefully they'll say yes. I'm going to have my fingers crossed." That's what they've trained you to think is normal, but it's not. Existence was meant for you to experience in abundance, free will, zero limits. That's why all of these limits don't feel right. And the only reason you have to participate in these limits is because you choose to believe they're true. But the conditioning is thick. It's hard to come back to that place of recognition. That's why they've been talking about self-worth. That's why they've been talking about understanding that your self-recognition, your ability to truly understand your value in existence, it's the most important part of this part of the journey. If you want to fly, it's not just believing you can fly. It's understanding that humans were created to fly. It's understanding that humans were created with zero limits and boundaries. Can you genuinely right now in your heart believe that there are no limits and no boundaries in human existence? Because that's what this is about. It's not about learning how to do flying like another sport. It's not a skill. It's a state of being. And that's the difference. If you're showing up to learn it like a skill, you're not going to be able to fly. But if you understand at the essence of who you are and where you are in existence, that we're not here to learn things, we're here to remember our natural state of being. It's recognition of self, how we were created. But you know what else you remember when you do that? You remember that the universal beings that created you, they're still here. They're still supporting you. And they're still a part of your life and your existence. You see, that's the part you have to bring forward too. So if you don't believe in that, again, you can't fly. Because just like everything in existence, flying is a relationship. It's a collaboration with existence. Just like your physical body coming into being. Just like your spouse, your relationship with your spouse, your relationship with your career, your relationship with your physical body. They're all collaborations. So let me ask you, They want you to feel, they want you to feel your physical body. This is the physical representation of your soul in this life. How do you feel about your body? Do you love it for who it is? Do you respect how you were created? Do you enjoy the parts of you that you get to experience because of your body? How much of your identity is wrapped up in how you look? When was the last time you told yourself how beautiful and loved you are by you? When was the last time you reveled in the feel of your skin, the color of your eyes, the texture of your hair? When was the last time you reveled in the joy of walking barefoot on the earth? Not because of what the earth feels like, but because how your body has the capacity to feel the earth under your feet. When was the last time you reveled in a bite of food or a drink and how that made you feel? When was the last time you reveled in breathing for the simple, sweet, pure joy of breathing? You see, your body is a pure reflection of the energy you knew you were going to need in this life for the mission that you came here to do, to fulfill, to be a part of, to participate in. So every time you judge your body, every time you change it, you adapt it to fit in to what you think is fun, to think what makes you more comfortable. It's recognizing that right there, those are the signs. Those are the signs of your discomfort with being who you are. Just let yourself discover the joy and beauty that is you, that is your body. And it's time to fall in love with who you are. Your body represents your soul. It is beautiful. It is perfect. It's abundant. The word they're using is it's exemplary. I don't even know if that's really, if I got it all right. It's the perfect expression of your soul. Perfect. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. The challenges that you experience in your body, the ailments, degeneration, right? My eyesight, for example, they're all reflections of you not feeling worthy of being a soul in this body. Those feelings of discomfort when you're in groups of people, it's recognizing that you feel your body doesn't quite fit the soul expression. But what if it doesn't fit because the idea of who you are in your mind is not a pure reflection of who you are? What if your soul knew and got it right And you just haven't allowed yourself to get to that place yet. What if you could walk? Imagine yourself walking on a beach, naked. Whether there's people there or not, it doesn't matter. But you're not there for them. You're not there to perform. You're there to feel the sand. You're there to feel the warmth of the sun on your skin. You're not hiding from the sun to protect your skin. It's recognizing that your skin is in a relationship. It's collaborating with the sun. It's a collaboration. And what the sun offers your skin, what the sand and the connection of walking on the sand, what's that collaboration offer you? Imagine swimming free, no clothing in between you and the water. Diving under the water, feeling the purity of the water. It's like kiss every single one of your cells. Again, another collaboration. You see, you're in intimate collaboration with existence in every single moment of existence. When it feels frenetic, when it feels uncomfortable, that's because you've gone into your thinking brain. You've gone into this is how I need to show up. This is what we're supposed to do. You've forgotten your natural and native state of being. And here's the thing. Just because we live in a world that has rules that you can't walk down the beach naked in most places, it doesn't mean you can't live from the freedom, from the place and the essence and the energy of that awareness and that existence. Because that's what you're meant to be doing. Living in that pure expression of self, not needing to change how you look so you can change how you feel. It's about becoming aware of the expression of who you are and allowing your cells to come back into alignment with a greater expression of your soul, letting more of your soul shine through. It's funny the way they're showing me. It's like our souls have shutters, almost like your windows, and that we've all put the shutters over top so that nobody can see ourselves. Because if they see ourselves, it's uncomfortable and it hurts and they're going to judge and they're going to whatever it is. And so we've covered it all up, right? That's our protection mechanism, protection mode. Because if we protect ourselves, no one's going to hurt us. So I'm going to ask you if that's working for you. Have you had zero challenges since you started protecting yourself? Your life is just really, it's always absolutely balanced. No challenges, nothing out of the ordinary. It's just ho-hum every single day, right? No excitement, no joy, no bad, no good, nothing. It's just, right. You're still having challenges, even with your need to protect yourself. So why wouldn't you allow yourself to come back into your fullness and actually have experiences that let you be who you are? You're still going to have challenges. But you know what happens when you're who you are and you have a challenge that you have to face? It becomes the most beautiful expression of divine learning. And by divine learning, I mean, it's like self-discovery in a way that you can't get when you're trying to protect yourself. the way they're showing me, it's like that's every time we put our clothes on, right? That's another way that we protect ourselves from feeling. It's another way that we show up in the world as who we think we need to be and how we should be. And obviously, we're not ready. We're clearly not ready for a whole bunch of humans to be walking around naked. Because, wow, that would just cause so many things. And yet there are people who are doing it, but in intimate groups where they can do that because they have other people who want to participate that way. You see, it's funny. That's where we're going back to. It's about not needing the physical representations, okay? Clothes, cars, homes, stuff, right? Not needing them to define who we are, but rather choosing them for the experience. You see, and that's the difference. So when you go back and you look at needing to apply and not feeling good enough, so you walk around needing all of these things and feeling unworthy because you can't get them and you can't have them all. How much of your day and time do you spend going, oh, what if we had this? Oh, this life would be so much easier if I had this. So much. And so what's happened, okay, is humanity as a whole spends about 80 to 90% of their time hoping and wishing things were different than they are, just so they could do what they want. We have to switch that. We have to spend 80 to 90% of our time being who we are and 10% allowing that to come to fruition, figuring out how it's going to come. You see, we have to switch that. We have to flip that switch, shift our perspective, and allow ourselves to participate again. So right now, it's just starting with understanding and recognizing that your relationship with your body, it's time to get to know your body intimately. Intimately does not mean sex. Intimately means understanding how your body functions, how your body wants to exist, where you block it from that abundance. Because I guarantee you, it's you blocking it. It's not somebody else that did something to you. It's you blocking it. We're going to go into that in the next episode. But right now, it's about allowing yourself to remember who you are matters. And there's a reason you chose the body that you chose. So instead of feeling like something about you or a whole bunch of things about you are less than, it's time to look at the joy and the purity and the love that you have for yourself, or you don't. And if you don't, it's time to start building it. A great practice for that is the sacred prayer. Okay? Sacred prayer is one of the most beautiful and prolific and expansive practices I have ever used in the last 20 plus years. It's incredible. And it's about understanding that adding in to your sacred prayer how much you love yourself, your body, how deeply respected you feel for yourself. That's got to be a part of it. So I'm going to link the sacred prayer. You can just download it. It's in the Great Explorations Handbook. It's right there. It tells you how to do it. And there's also a video that also walks you through it. I'll connect all of that down below. But in the meantime, if you're working on building your relationship with loving yourself, just close your eyes. Imagine yourself walking naked on the beach. Feel everything. Feel the wind, the breeze, the sun, the air, and how the air interacts with your cells, because the air is different than breeze, right? That's an action that the air is taking. And it's another dynamic as well of existence. Feel everything. Everything. Maybe you have butterflies that land on you. Maybe you don't like any bugs. Guess what? Bugs are a part of existence. Again, I remember when I first started all of this, I had such an aversion to bugs and snakes and creepy crawly things. And I was like, ugh, and rodents and all of it. But that was conditioned into me. And as I went through this journey and I started to get to know myself and I started to get to know existence from the inside, I now hold a reverence and a deep inner respect for everything in existence. Nothing is creepy crawly anymore. There are definitely some things that I'm like, oh, okay, that startled me. It's because of the conditioning, but I am able to instantly bring it back to that's a being in existence. And I revel in the joy of it, however it happens to be coming through my space. So it begins with the relationship that you have with yourself. And then you're going to expand out. Because imagine you're flying. You might eat some bugs if you have your mouth open. So we want to get really comfortable with all aspects of existence because that's how we're meant to be. You know, it's funny because there's a lot of people who are like, we're not wild animals. No, we're not wild animals. But somehow, in some way, we've been conditioned to think that we're supposed to live in these boxes, inside of houses, apartments, buildings, boats, wherever it is you live, somewhere that's sterile from nature. And the reality is, we were always meant to live in connection with nature, right? In collaboration. Why? Because humans are self-sustaining. Existence is self-sustaining. Nature is self-sustaining. Every being in existence, every species in existence is self-sustaining. The only ones who don't participate in self-sustaining behaviors is humanity, because we've been trained not to, but we're going to retrain that. And it starts here, because flying is reliant upon you remembering your self-sustaining behaviors, your natural instincts. It's going to only get better from here. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.